Baking Technician for Class 9th, Unit 4, Pre-Preparation and Baking Products in the Oven. Session 1, Baker's Math. Hello students, welcome to the video lecture series for the job role Baking Technician for Class 9th, Unit 4, Pre-Preparation and Baking Products in the Oven. In this video, you will learn about Baker's Math. In baking, the process of increasing or decreasing ingredient of a recipe so as to adjust the yield is known as scaling. There are many methods of scaling a recipe so as to make the desired number of pieces of a product. It is important for a baking technician to learn Baker's Math in order to scale a recipe. Baker's Math involves first is Baker's percentage, second is the Baker's ratio, and third is the simultaneous equation. Let us understand these in details. First is Baker's percent. Baker's percent is a mathematical method widely used in baking to calculate the amount of ingredient. In baking, each ingredient weight is measured as a percentage of the total flour weight. Second is Baker's ratio. Every ingredient in the baking recipe has a relationship with all other ingredients present in the very recipe. Changing one ingredient or its quantity will affect all the other ingredients present in the recipe. It is because of chemical reactions occurring due to the interaction of ingredient in baking. This relationship between ingredient is called as ratio in bakery science. Over and underestimation of ingredient can be spoiled the bakery products, especially when it comes to cake, bread and biscuit. Therefore, ingredients need to be in exact proportion so as to interact properly. For example, if a recipe needs 3 cups of flour and 2 cups of sugar, the relationship between two ingredients is 3 parts to 2 parts. The ratio is expressed as 3:2. Third is simultaneous equation. It is an important method to scale your recipe up or down based on the number of pieces of products you want to make. Student, let us understand this with the illustration. In this recipe, the total weight of the ingredient is 1700 grams. This much of ingredient yields 2 loaves of bread, each of 850 grams. So, the approximate ingredient required to make only a single loaf of bread is half of all the ingredient. Now, we have to calculate the amount of ingredient required to make 50 breads. Since we know the amount of ingredient required to make a single loaf of bread, multiplying all the ingredient by 50, we will get the recipe for 50 bread loaves. Let us now understand the importance of time and temperature in baking the product. The temperature plays a vital role in baking the products in the oven. Different products need different temperature and different types of oven depending on weight and size of the product being baked. Each type of product has varying time and temperature in different types of oven. Frequent repetition of the recipe will help the personnel to understand the proper combination of time and temperature. For example, a 850 gram of bread loaf will take 50 minutes at 180 degrees centigrade temperature, but 400 gram of bread can be baked for 30 minutes at 200 degrees centigrade. A 500 gram chocolate cake batter in a 9-inch pan can be baked at 180 degrees centigrade for 30 to 35 minutes. But baking the same 500 gram batter at 180 degrees centigrade in a larger pan, say about 12 inches, will take 20 to 25 minutes because the height of the batter is reduced as it spreads into 12-inch surface. Similarly, the same 500 gram cake batter in a 6-inch pan will get baked at 160 degrees centigrade and in 45 to 50 minutes. This is because the height of the batter has increased and thus we will need to reduce the temperature and increase the time so that the heat can penetrate properly into the batter to fully cook it. But if we keep the temperature at 180 degrees centigrade and then bake time to 50 to 55 minutes, the cake will be overcooked from outside and uncooked from the center. So students, let us summarize what we have learned in this session. In baking, the process of increasing or decreasing the ingredient of a recipe so as to adjust the yield is known as scaling. There are many methods of scaling a recipe so as to make the desired number of pieces of a product. Baker's math involves first is baker's percentage, second is baker's ratio, and third is simultaneous equation. Baker's percent is a mathematical method widely used in baking to calculate the amount of ingredients. Baker's ratio indicates the proper proportions of the ingredient should be added in the recipe so as to provide the optimum results. Simultaneous equation is a method to scale up or down a recipe or recipe's ingredient on the basis of the number of pieces of product to be produced. Time and temperature plays a vital role in baking the products in the oven. Different products need different time span and temperatures and different types of oven depending on weight and size of the product being baked. So students, that is all from this session. Till then, keep watching and enjoy learning. Thank you.